Welcome, seekers of ancient tales, to Tales from the Veil. Tonight, we journey back to a time of pharaohs and emperors, to a love so legendary it reshaped the world and ultimately destroyed an empire. This is the story of Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Our tale begins in the opulent heart of ancient Egypt, with Cleopatra VII, the last pharaoh, a woman of unparalleled intellect and charm. She spoke many languages, mastered diplomacy, and held the destiny of a kingdom in her hands. But Egypt, though rich, was overshadowed by the rising power of Rome. Cleopatra understood that to secure her throne and her nation's future, she needed a powerful Roman ally. Her first alliance was with Julius Caesar, a union that bore a son, Caesarion. But Caesar's assassination plunged Rome into chaos, leaving Cleopatra vulnerable once more. Into this volatile world stepped Mark Antony, one of Rome's triumvirs, a formidable general and a man of immense charisma. He summoned Cleopatra to Tarsus, expecting a humble supplicant. What he received was a queen, arriving on a gilded barge, adorned as the goddess Aphrodite, captivating him instantly. Their first meeting was not just a political negotiation. It was the spark of an inferno. Antony, accustomed to power, found himself utterly enchanted by Cleopatra's wit, her intelligence, and her magnetic presence. He was drawn not just to her beauty, but to her mind, her vision for Egypt, and her unwavering spirit. Their love affair blossomed, a passionate and extravagant union that defied Roman conventions. Antony spent winters in Alexandria, reveling in Egyptian luxury, neglecting his Roman duties and his Roman wife, Octavia. This indulgence, however, came at a great cost. In Rome, Octavian, shrewd and ambitious, began to paint Antony as a man corrupted by the East, a Roman hero seduced and enslaved by an exotic queen. He portrayed Cleopatra as a dangerous sorceress, aiming to subjugate Rome itself. Antony, blinded by his devotion to Cleopatra and his dreams of an Eastern empire, made a series of political blunders. He publicly acknowledged Caesarion as Caesar's son, a direct challenge to Octavian's claim as Caesar's heir. He also made lavish grants of Roman territory to Cleopatra and their children, further fueling Roman outrage. The tension between Antony and Octavian escalated into open conflict. Octavian declared war, not on Antony directly, but on Cleopatra, framing it as a war against a foreign enemy threatening Roman values. Antony, standing by Cleopatra, committed his forces to her cause. The decisive battle came at Actium, a naval confrontation that would determine the fate of the Roman world. Antony and Cleopatra's forces were ultimately outmaneuvered and defeated. In the chaos, Cleopatra's fleet retreated, and Antony, believing she had abandoned him, followed. The defeat at Actium was catastrophic. Antony's legions deserted him, and Octavian's forces closed in on Egypt. As Octavian approached Alexandria, Antony received false news that Cleopatra had taken her own life. In despair, he fell on his own sword, but the wound was not immediately fatal. He was brought to Cleopatra, where he died in her arms, a tragic end to a love that had defied empires. Cleopatra, now a captive, tried to negotiate with Octavian, hoping to save her children and her kingdom. But she knew her fate, to be paraded as a trophy in Rome. Refusing to suffer such humiliation, Cleopatra chose her own end. Legend says she used an asp, a venomous snake, to bite her, ensuring a swift and dignified death befitting a pharaoh. She died, as she had lived, on her own terms, preserving her legacy. The deaths of Cleopatra and Mark Antony marked the end of the Hellenistic age and the beginning of the Roman Empire. Their love, though passionate and profound, was intertwined with political ambition and ultimately led to their downfall and the destruction of an ancient kingdom. Their story remains a timeless epic, a testament to the intoxicating power of love, ambition, and the tragic consequences when they collide. It is a tale of two powerful figures, bound by an extraordinary connection, who dared to challenge the might of Rome and paid the ultimate price. Thank you for joining us on Tales from the Veil. Join us next time for another journey into the myths and legends that shape our world.